In my search for all these random things from these papers, I'm finding stuff for shorts, I'm finding stuff for longer videos, and I'm finding things for medium to small videos, and this is one of them. And so it's from the Wilmingtonian and Delaware Register, February 10th, 1825. It's one of those stories where just after I read it, it stuck with me, and I was like, I want to share this with some people because it's pretty interesting, and I bet it happened a lot, and it was in a bunch of different articles around this time. So here it is. An awful situation. It relates to Egypt, and it's very fascinating, and again, I wonder how many times it happened, or just, again, it's crazy. Here we go. Awful situation. The celebrated Aaron Hill, when in Egypt, had the curiosity to examine a catacomb. He was accompanied in his expedition by two gentlemen and conducted by one of the natives of the country as a guide. They at length arrived at the spot, and without taking any notice of some fellows who were sauntering about the place, descended by ropes into the vault. No sooner were they let down than they were presented with a spectacle which struck them with horror. Two gentlemen, apparently starved to death, lay before them. One of these unhappy victims had a tablet in his hand, on which was written in a very pathetic language that they were brothers of rank and family of Venice, and having in the course of their travels entrusted themselves with one of the natives for the purpose of visiting the catacomb, the perfidious villain had left them to perish. The danger to which Mr. Hill and his friends were exposed instantly alarmed them. They had read the tale when, looking up, they beheld their inhuman guide, assisted by two others whom they had seen near the spot, closing the entrance into the vault. They were now reduced to the utmost distress. They, however, drew their swords, determined to make a desperate effort to rescue themselves from a situation so appalling. With this resolution they were groping about at random in the dark when they were startled at the groans of someone seemingly in the agonies of death. They listened to the dismal sound, and at length, by the glimmering light from the catacomb, they saw a man just murdered, and a little beyond they beheld his inhuman murderers. Flying with the utmost precipitation, they pursued them immediately, and though not able to come up with them, they had the good fortune to reach the opening through which the wretches escaped out of the cavern, just before they had time to put the stone on the top of it. And it's kind of funny because I watched Goonies again today, and it reminded me also of that, the stone at the end and escaping through that narrow hole and all this stuff. But imagine being in that situation, and that would be terrifying. Getting dropped down a glimpse in a vault and seeing all that happen, and just realizing that you cannot trust the people who led you into that ridiculous place and situation. And it's just one of those things where this story is in the 1800s when all these things were just being rediscovered from whatever the heck happened and reset these things. And these people were just going around exploring and, at the mercy of the locals who they probably didn't know much about at this time, because who knows how desperate these people were for money or for whatever, or just the revenge they wanted. There might be a whole history that these Egyptian people knew about Americans and were like, we're going to take these people out, or people from other parts of the world, the Venetians and stuff that were in the tomb already. Who knows what their motives were for doing this stuff, but wild time it must have been to go and explore these places with no hindrance from governments, and still being able to find some looted places, and running the risk of these dangers, but also having the excitement of like an entire world at your fingertips, kind of. Well, either way, I thought you would always like this. Hope you found it fascinating. I got much more to come. I keep finding these gems all over the place that just add to the overall wonder of the past. And that's really all I'm going for here. I'm not trying to push anything. I'm just finding cool things and putting them out there so you all can get a glimpse of them too. The more we learn about the past, the better, and I am convinced there are some secrets hidden in these old papers that will open our minds to the way things were. Bless you all.